Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to this week's Ponderous Wednesday. Now if you're new to the channel or don't know, Ponderous Wednesdays here on the Backyard Bullion YouTube channel are all about taking an interesting or thought-provoking topic and having a good old natter and ramble about it and stimulating some interesting discussion down in the comment section. And as you've probably guessed from the thumbnail and title of this video and the fact that I have 5 graded coins sitting out in front of us, we're going to be talking about coin grading, and more specifically I want to focus on whether or not it's worth grading coins when you're looking to flip them. Can you make more money by getting a coin graded and then flipping it than you might have done if you'd just taken a coin and flipped it in its raw form? Now this is a topic which is likely to split opinion. There's a lot of you out there who don't necessarily agree with the premise of coin grading, certainly for modern bullion coins as well as old coins. There are a lot of you out there though that really do like coin grading and have perceptions of coin grading being a very good value adder to coins. Now there are lots of other different reasons why you might want to get a coin graded. I'm not necessarily going to focus on those today. I really want to stick to that kind of core thought of, is it worthwhile to flip a coin? Can you make more money by flipping a graded coin than if it had been just in its raw form? Now I have out here 5 graded coins to share with you guys. 4 of these are not mine. These 4 sovereigns are actually owned by a friend of mine. I've shown some of them before on the channel, but basically this friend of mine inherited them. She didn't really know what to do with them, knew that I had coins and liked coins, and asked me to help with some advice on what to do. And we had a fair amount of these sovereigns that she'd inherited. We decided that we'd sell them pretty much by eBay. So in fact, these 3 coins here are currently listed on eBay at the moment. I'll put links down in the description below. So if you're looking for these particular varieties of sovereigns, then please do go have a look. We've got £1 seller's fees, and it seems to have been the best way to sell these coins throughout the time that we've had them. So yeah, they are all available. If you want to go and look at them, please do. But we got some of them graded, so I've sold some of these already for this friend in a raw form, but we also decided, well, I really wanted to get some of these graded with Numistacker, also as a little bit of an experiment really, because it was one of those things where a lot of these coins were really very pretty indeed, and I felt that it might add a lot of value to some of them if we got it graded. And I guess what we're learning at this moment in time is that, from my experience, it does add value to the coin, but does it add more value than the cost of the grading itself? And I guess the answer from my experience from the limited coins that we're selling is that we are getting more money for each coin. We don't have, the problem is we don't have 2 exact versions of one coin to share to actually see the difference between the 2. But from my limited experience of selling these particular sovereigns, they have performed better when they're in their slab. Now obviously there are other benefits to having a coin graded and then looking to sell it on, and that is that it is going to be obviously protected better. It's not going to get damaged perhaps en route. It's already authenticated, so the buyer knows that it's real. The seller's a little bit more protected because it's a bit more difficult for the buyer to kind of switch the coin out and send something back which is fake if they were to try and pull a scam. So it is interesting premise on those side of things, but in terms of adding value to the coin, I think for these kind of older style coins it's gone very well, but that is of course dependent on the type of grade that you get for the coin. So we've seen here there's some nice AU grades. Now AU grades for these older sovereigns are probably about as good as they were ever going to get when I submitted these for grading with Numistacker, and because they are AU, they do have that kind of nice additional value added. But if they'd come back perhaps like this one, so we've got here a nice comparison, is an AU detail, so it's got some scratches on it. Not sure that the camera will be able to pick up the scratches on it, but of course getting it in a detail slab, whilst it kind of adds the value in the sense that it is authenticated, we know it's real, it's been put in the slab and it's protected, a details grade is not what people want. People don't want to buy an AU details grade, certainly at any kind of premium. When you have it compared with an AU 55 coin, which is obviously in a much nicer condition, it's much more desirable than a scratched version of it. And I'm not sure if the camera's really picking up the scratches on it, but you can see them there. Perhaps we should have picked that up before sending it in for grading, but hey ho, you live and learn. But the point is that this is pretty much wasted money in terms of the grading fees. So you've got to factor that potential chance in. So in terms of whether it's worth it, I guess it is, but only if you hit the right grades. You have to be lucky. In terms of adding value to the coin, it does add value, but it comes out of course, a cost of grading them. Now, Numistaka is the one that helped grade these coins, and obviously he's got the account set up with NGC already. He's got the big group grading submission, so you sort of save on postage and everything that you might expect. So it's a lot cheaper grading through Numistaka, and if you guys out there are wanting to get some of your coins graded, I'd highly recommend that you go over to the Silver Forum and get in touch with him. Quality service he offers at no extra cost as well, so it's really very good. But even so, it'll cost between £25 and £30 probably all told to get these type of coins graded. The gold coins are more expensive to grade than the silver modern versions, so it does add quite a lot of cost to the base end of the coin, and whether or not you can yield that back in increased premiums is an interesting premise. And as I said, on these particular coins, well, not these ones because these are currently still for sale, but on previous ones that we've sold in a raw form, we've got good prices for them, but I have seen slightly better prices for graded coins. So it's an interesting, thought-provoking topic, which is why we're talking about it today. Now, you do obviously sometimes get a real nice graded coin. We didn't get very many in the batch that I sent up with these coins, but one of the better ones that we did get was this 1880M MS60. And MS60 is a very interesting grade. It's also a very desirable grade throughout sort of the coin collecting world, because it's quite a rare grade. It's a grade that's given to coins when, well, this is what I understand from Numistaka, when the graders are not quite sure whether it should sit fully within an MS grade or within an AU grade. So it's kind of an on-the-fence decision coin, and that in itself is quite interesting. So MS60s sometimes will add value. And of course, when you're looking to get these graded, if you get the jackpot and you hit something which is very highly graded, like an like an MS64 or something like that on one of these coins, of course you're going to add loads of value. And that's something to factor in. If you've got 30 coins that you're looking to send in, 30 old sovereigns, let's say, and it's kind of a premise of what we did here. We didn't have as many as that, but we sent in a bunch of them, and we knew that maybe one or two of them might come out like this one with a details grade, but we also thought that some of them might come out with an overall really very good grade. And we got one or two which came out at MS62, which is obviously a fantastic grade, and that added quite a significant amount of value to the coin. So the overall addition to the value of the set, I guess, has increased quite a lot, but you do have that sort of running the risk element of whether or not it's worth it. But anyway, that's all about the old coins. I do think it adds value for certain coins if it's an old coin. It protects the coin, which I guess is a really important thing as well. Certainly if it's an older version of a coin. But let's talk about modern coins. Let's talk about modern silver bullion coins. Modern silver bullion coins getting graded. This is my opinion, and it might not be the same for everybody out there, so do bear that in mind. But generally, I don't really see a point in grading your standard, regular new coins out there. So if you get a new 2018 Bullion Britannia, I just don't see the value in getting that graded. However, there are certain modern bullion coins that are worth grading, and that's going to be the rarer versions of some very, very popular releases that come out. Now, we saw this coin last year absolutely take NGC by storm. So many of them were submitted by Numistaka alone in the group grading submissions, and every single one of these came back PF70. And this is the 2-ounce high relief antiqued dragon from the Perth Mint. Love this coin, I really do. I picked up two myself. I sent one in for grading, and this one came back as a PF70. I actually sold the other one via a private sale on the Silver Forum and made a pretty decent profit on it, which is interesting in its own right. And now, I bought these coins specifically to sell on. I buy premium coins and I will sell them on. I'm not ashamed of that. That's something that a lot of people do. It's something quite a few people will frown on, but at the end of the day, silver is there, and then these kind of proof coins are there as a kind of shorter term investment, in my opinion. In 30 years' time, is anyone going to remember this? Is anyone going to pay a premium for it? Maybe not. So this one is now on sale on eBay. £1 seller's fee. I feel it's the right time for me to sell this coin. There's not a lot of them out there for general sale. Certainly not a lot of the PF70 slabbed versions of these coins out there for sale. So I think it's going to do very well indeed. And that is a prime example of when you can grade a coin and it does very well. Whether it's going to do better than the margin which I made on the original unslabbed one which I sold, I don't know. Only time is going to tell. But judging on what I've seen from previous sort of eBay items which have finished and previous eBay sales of these PF70 graded versions, I think it's going to do pretty well. I think it's going to yield a higher return than the regular unslabbed version did for me. But that's not going to be the same for all types of modern bullion coins. There will be hits, there will be misses. Of course, if you're sending these in for grading the modern coins and they get anything less than a 70, that's pretty much, you know, a death knell. Certainly if it's less than a 69, it's going to be a death knell. And I've sent in, previous times I've had, if I just reach over and grab them, I've sent in my proof Queen's Beast coins, and I've managed to get 69s on each of them. Now, whether or not that will yield any additional value to these coins, it's very unlikely. In fact, we've probably not even covered the additional grading costs of these coins. These are quite expensive premium coins when they get started anyway, and to add additional cost to them of getting them graded and not having a perfect 70 is of course going to be a bit disappointing. That said, quite like them in a slab. They're going to be very nice as a little kind of collection to have. I'm not obviously grading them en masse, so I'm not losing a great deal of cash, and perhaps at worst with a 69 you're going to be getting your value back that you spent on the grading. So not the worst case scenario, but certainly if you're looking, as I said in the topic of this video, to grade them with the intention of flipping them for more money than you would have got otherwise, unlikely. Of course, the last thing to talk about is the actual coin itself. So you know, a lot of coins out there are quite desirable anyway, and they will be more desirable for certain people who would want to buy them specifically to grade them, and that's an interesting, thought-provoking premise in its own right. You know, so it's very possible that by selling some of these coins ungraded, that they will actually end up getting graded by somebody else in that sort of process. So it's an interesting thing to think about, whether or not you might actually hit a different market altogether if you were to sell something which is ungraded, because people are going to be looking to actually get it graded. I hope you guys follow that last argument. So it might sometimes be actually more valuable to leave it outside of a slab because you hit a slightly wider market, as we've seen coin grading on the up and up, and people getting you know, much more popularity out of coin grading these days. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the subject. I think that for certain, I guess I presented a topic here where there is no clear answer, and that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the topic, I suppose, which makes it so interesting. From certain experience, for certain coins, yes, you can get more profit out of a coin by getting it graded, but it has its risks, it's not guaranteed, and that's something that you should factor in if you're looking to do something similar along the road. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the subject. I would love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear your experiences of grading coins and whether or not you've earned additional profit having had your coins graded and then selling them on. Please do be respectful of other people's opinions about coin grading and about coin flipping. I know there's a lot of people out there who have differing opinions on those subjects, so please do be respectful when you comment if you do. Otherwise, if you like this video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful indeed. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you do, hit the alarm bell and you get a notification when I upload future videos. Otherwise, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.